The pig looks at you and then you take something from it and it just puts its head down and continues in its area. It lacks the will to fight completely, no interest in fighting. As a human, if I lack fight, I can't survive. If I lack the power to fight against injustice, fight oppression, fight crime, fight that which is evil, that's part of my makeup as a human. I'm a member of a group of people who want to continue to have a peaceful coexistence. If I don't have any willpower within me, or I don't have the will to fight, then I lack that humanity which I need. You find the pig is an animal which lacks that will to go out and fight. Number 3, no animal dislikes sunlight. Well, there may be a few which do, but no animal like the pig. Someone will say, surely not. Go and read many biological studies about the pig. The pig may be seen in sunlight, but it dislikes sunlight. Dislikes sunlight. The pig is a lazy, sluggish animal. If it has a choice, will stay in its excretion the whole day. It will just enjoy sitting in that excretion. To the pig, that's its swimming pool. You leave it in the excretion, it's relaxing. You find that if the human takes this character of being lazy, then you can't call a human a human. Because a human is active. A human goes out to earn. A human goes out to live. The pig's laziness can easily be transferred in the character of the human being. Fourthly, what you find? You find the pig doesn't mind eating anything, even if its own child is dead on the ground, it will eat it. The pig is a scavenger. As a scavenger, it will eat anything. If you put a human fetus next to it, it will eat it. If you put its own child's fetus, it will eat it. Notice certain parts of the Far East where now stillborn children are a delicacy. In the Far East, now if you go on the internet, type stillborn children as a delicacy for a dinner. People are eating. On the same menu, I guarantee you, on that restaurant, you'll see pork chops and porks and noodles and bacon, all of it's in the same menu. You find when a pig is willing to eat its own, don't be surprised if there's a day when the human is willing to eat their own as well. Likewise, the pig enjoys being in its own feces. Don't be surprised if a human being reaches a stage, especially in the university circles. Someone once came to me and said, knowledge makes a human. I said, have you ever been to Harvard or Oxford in their freshers' fair? He said, what do you mean freshers' fair? I said, you know the first week when university students go to university? They have to enjoy themselves, don't they? They have to really have a good time. I said, have you ever been in their first week? He said to me, why? What happens? I said, go to the top unis in the world in their first week and see if a human acts like a human or like an animal. Don't be surprised if you go there, you'll see human beings behave in a way where you'll never believe this man has the intelligence to go to Oxford. You'll see them taking their clothes off. You'll see them playing about and getting drunk. And then what comes after that, only Allah knows. When you've taken in from this animal, do not be surprised if your behavior becomes like that as well. Therefore, the religion of Islam, what did it say? The prohibition of pork was on 2 levels. The first level was because of physical reasons. The second level was because of spiritual reasons. And that's why when the Imam was asked, why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created these animals like the pig? He said on the first level, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to remind mankind that the biggest humiliation that happened to mankind was when certain members of the children of Israel were turned into this animal. Someone says, what do you mean turned into this animal? Truly turned into the animal? Yes, truly. Because these members of the children of Israel, the Quran mentions how a few of these members were as a punishment for their arrogance towards the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, turned into these animals. Of course, it was a humiliation for them. After that, they ceased to exist. It was a period of a few days, and they ceased to exist. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why did He allow this to happen? It happened in some narrations with those who doubted Jesus, son of Mary, as being a messenger of God. And even on those who didn't perform the Sabbath with Moses. You find that it happened to them. Allah wanted to show a humiliation. That when a human being becomes arrogant and starts moving away from the path of Allah, then there is no difference in his character than that of a pig. And I tell you, us as human beings, what makes us different from animals, honestly? With animals, we eat, they eat. We drink, they drink. They have desires, we have desires. The only difference is our reason, isn't it? It's our reason that makes us high. But when a human being doesn't use their reason, then you find the human being becomes the lowest of the low. And that's why, what do you notice? You notice the Imams of Ahlul Bayt have many narrations where they state there are certain people with certain characteristics, Allah will not allow them to be raised as humans on the Day of Judgment. No. Allah will raise them in the form of a pig as a humiliation on the Day of Judgment. Which types of people? The first types are those who are involved in relationships which are illegitimate, meaning constantly performing adulterous relationships. You find in our communities today many stories emerging day after day. Muslims entertaining relationships either while married in adulterous situations or with people they're not allowed to be in marriages with. As in, when we say you can be with the people of the book, there is a reason. When you hear Muslims today going with people who don't even have a book, without caring twice about the fact that they don't believe in the oneness of Allah, the Imam says that type of person will be raised not as a human, but will be raised as a pig on the Day of Judgment. Number two, those who listen to the music of the musicians. Some will come forward and say, well, that's a bit far-fetched. As in, what's wrong with the music of the musicians? I'm still a good Muslim. I love the Ahlul Bayt. I read the Quran. When you look at these people, you say to them, but look at the words of these musicians. No, look at the videos behind these musicians. When MTV makes a video for a musician, it's not the words which are the trouble. It's the video and the content of the video. The content of the video where women are degraded to below animals, where women have no sanctity whatsoever except as being objects in videos. Every video that comes on that channel, you will find that a woman is degraded as a human being. You find when you are a person who gives a hit to that channel, or to the tunes that are played on that channel, you are part of that industry as well. Because you are someone who wants that industry to continue to grow. Therefore, on the second level, these two. The third level, he says, anyone registered with Bani Abbas and helped Bani Abbas in their government will be raised in this way. Of course, this is metaphorical, that anyone who helps a tyrannical government will be humiliated on the Day of Judgment in the form of a pig. As in, whoever it may be, it could be the nephew of an imam. You know Imam Musa ibn Ja'far, who was one of the causes of his imprisonment? Who was one of the causes? Imam Musa ibn Ja'far, one of the causes of his imprisonment was his nephew Ali. His nephew Ali took a bribe from Harun al-Rashid. Harun al-Rashid had Yahya al-Barmaki tell Ali, the nephew of the Imam, if you come over towards Baghdad, I want you to tell me, what is Musa ibn Ja'far doing in Medina? He replied to him by saying to him, well, I can't see why there's two caliphs, one in Medina and one in Baghdad. This is unacceptable. Imam, before his nephew had left, had said to him, Ali, don't be the cause of my children being fatherless. Don't be the cause of my children losing their dad. What is it that you're going to Baghdad for? He said, oh, I'm just going to relieve some debts. He said, here, take 4,000 dirham, I will relieve your debt. He said to him, no, I have to go. Someone came to the Imam and said, why did you give him money when you know what he's going to do? He said, the person hasn't performed the act. And number two, he's a family member. I should still try and help. What you find is he went to Harun Rashid. Harun Rashid said to him, what do you think? He said, Musa ibn Ja'far has got so much power. Harun Rashid said, very well, here's 4,000 dirhams as well. Do you know this Ali ibn Ismail, when he went back, he was opening the envelope where there's money. He's thinking, I can't wait to count my money. As he's opening it, the angel of death came and took his soul away. Imagine, what did he get from the world? As he's about to take his money, the angel comes to take his soul away. He died, but he put Imam Musa ibn Ja'far in prison. His own uncle. He made him stay in the prison of Baghdad for over 20 years. Over 20 years, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far was in prison because of his nephew. Imam al-Sadiq had mentioned that anyone who had worked for Bani Abbas, Allah will humiliate them on the Day of Judgment by raising them as what? By raising them in the form of a pig, as a form of humiliation for them. But there was one line on the 10th of Muharram which highlighted how much Imam al-Hussein was affected by the killing of one of his companions. You know, on the 10th of Muharram, Imam lost many companions. He lost Hur bin Yazid al-Riyahi. He lost Muslim ibn Awsaja. He also lost Habib ibn Madahir. He lost all of these companions. But there was one companion in particular who, when Imam al-Hussein saw him fall on the ground, there was one companion who, when the Imam saw him fall on the ground, The Imam, when he saw him, he said, Ya Allah, curse those people who have killed that companion of mine and raised them as pigs on the day of judgment as a humiliation. Who was it? Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Because the Imam had a love for Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn originally was not on the side of the Imam. He was returning back from Hajj. He was returning back towards the land of Kufa with his wife Daylam. When he was in his tent, Imam al-Hussein had known Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, although politically was not with the Imam, was a man of a pure heart. He went and sent a messenger. When that messenger came, he spoke with Zuhair. When Zuhair's wife Daylam looked at Zuhair, she said to him, I see you confused. What's the issue? He said, Hussein ibn Ali has called for me. She looked at him, she said, the son of Fatima al-Zahra calls you and you stay sitting next to me. Go and answer his call. But I ask you one thing. He said to her, what is it? She said to him, if ever there's a day when I become a prisoner and his sister becomes a prisoner, ask him that allow his sister to take me with her. I do not want to be alone. And that's why that Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, on the night of the 10th of Muharram, he overheard Sayyida Zainab telling Imam al-Hussein. He overheard Sayyida Zainab saying to Imam al-Hussein, are you sure these companions are going to stay with you? When Zuhair heard this, he went back to the tent. He said to them, are you ready to serve the Imam? They said, we're all ready. He came to the Imam. He said, oh Imam, I heard Sayyida Zainab say, are you sure we're going to serve you? Oh Imam, if I was fighting and they killed me and they chopped me into 1,000 pieces and they raised me again and they chopped me 1,000 pieces, it would be my honor to die for you 1,000 times. I am ready to lay my life. And that's why he came forward with exquisite lines of poetry on the 10th of Muharram when he said, أنا زهير وأنا ابن القين أضربكم بالسيف عن حسيني إن حسينا أحد السبطين من عترة النبي الزكي الزيني ذاك رسول الله غير المين يا ليت نفسي قسمت قسمين. The narration states that on the 10th of Muharram, when Zuhair ibn al-Qayn was lying on the ground, his wife Daylam saw the servant of the family. His wife Daylam called out, I want you to go and look for the body of my husband Zuhair, and I want you to cover his body with a piece of cloth. When the servant went out on the ground in Karbala, he went out and he looked for the body of Zuhair. When he looked for the body, he came back. Daylam looked at him and she said, did you cover the body of my husband? He replied to her by saying, no, I didn't. She said to him, why? He said, because as I was about to cover his body, I saw the holy body of Ammar lying on the ground with no one to cover the body of Imam al-Hussein. So I went towards the body of Ammar and I laid the piece of cloth on the body of Imam al-Hussein. She replied to him by saying, Jazakallah khairul jaza. The poet says, she said the following lines, how could I have my husband's body covered by a piece of cloth when the son of Fatima al-Zahra's body lies without anyone to cover his wounds? How can I care for my husband when the son of Fatima al-Zahra has horses trampling across his body when he lay on the ground? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the following dua. Oh Allah, allow us to be amongst the companions of Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. Hasten the reappearance of our Imam. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all our Muslim brothers around the Islamic world, especially our brothers in Pakistan. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the Surah Al-Fatiha, but before it, the loudest of your salawat.